Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're so welcome to be here. And I'll be sharing with you 4 secrets with the famous Christian painting The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. All my source articles will be linked below in the description box. So we will get started. So the first sort of secret is that many scholars and biblical scholars believe the person at the right hand of Jesus was actually Mary Magdalene. A bit of a disclaimer going into this video. I'm not about the Da Vinci Code, that's not my vibe, so just, it's not that kind of theory if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so basically this theory is that the person at the right hand of Jesus is Mary Magdalene because this person is wearing a pendant or a necklace or a charm, and most people believe that it is a woman and not John. Basically the point is that it's not John in this particular painting, even though it's in the Bible that John was beside Jesus in the Last Supper. Maybe he took a bit of creative license, I don't know, but yeah, that's quite interesting. What do you think about that? So the next secret is that each person takes a turn to dip their bread in the bowl. This one was interesting because this makes me think back to the gospel when Jesus was about to betray Jesus and he puts his bread in the bowl, he's going to betray him. So each person takes a turn to dip their bread into this particular bowl, and most times this is a circular table with a bowl and in the center of this particular table. So Leonardo placed Christ and the disciples at a rectangular table. So why did he do it at a rectangular table and not a circular table? So basically the whole sort of context around this is to, if you dip your bread by the person before you is doing it, it is highly disrespectful, and this could be taken as the person, it could be taken that the person is doing better than those before him, which is really interesting. So in the painting, Jesus is also knocked over the salt, bringing bad luck, and a study on Leonardo's notebooks, it shows that all the disciples were noted by name, so it's very, very intentional the way that he does this. So yeah, that's really interesting that they each take a turn, and yeah, really interesting how sort of relates all back to it, and that the artist uses a lot of symbolism to show the eventuality of Judas's fate and how he ends up. Yeah, really interesting. So the next sort of secret, not really a secret, but whatever, is that Leonardo made the apostles in the painting very expressive. So this particular painting was portrayed when Jesus said, "One day is going to betray me," like that kind of mic drop line in the gospel. So this is what this painting is, like the reaction of that particular scene. So there's a lot of shock and horror in this painting, and that Leonardo groups the apostles in a way that it breaks down the narrative and the emotions in the room. So basically if we look at the painting now, I'll put it up on the screen for you. So we'll start from left to right. So Bartholomew, James, the son of Alphaeus, and Andrew are showing surprise, and Mr. Judas Iscariot, Peter and John, who all have important roles in the Gospels as we know. The artist has put them, Peter and John, next to Judas to create contrast between the sort of more favourites that Jesus has. I wouldn't want to say favourites, but you know what I mean, like more important roles. But basically just the way the artist usually changes the narrative, that they're all sort of together and Judas is not necessarily isolated, but like he's there within the mix. And then with Jesus we see a representation of the Holy Trinity and the expression of the Eucharist as he reached for the bread and the wine, forming a triangle, according to this scholar here, which I cannot pronounce his name, I do apologise. So then Thomas, James the Greater, and Philip are stunned and wanting clarification, like, if you're in that position, like, let's just think about it for a second. If you're in a position in the Last Supper and Jesus is like, one of you guys is going to betray me, you'd be like, what is going on? And then Matthew, Jude, Thaddeus, and Simon the Zealot, and they all turn to each other looking for answers, which is really interesting how there's so much depth in this painting. Like, you know, it's not just like something that looks very like holy and sort of more heavenly, but like there's actually something going on, there's a bit more sauce to it, if you know what I mean. Like it's actually portraying that particular scene, which is paramount in our faith. So number 4, so according to the scholar Laszlo Zolonai, forgive me if I butchered that, so this painting is deeply rooted in Christian literature and Italian customs. This was quite interesting. I quite like this one, and how the whole thing about eating together is very much rooted in family and the principle of charity, solidarity, and community, which is paramount within the Christian faith. Like, even that's something that we always talk about in church. In my own personal story, it's just we talk about community and coming together and, you know, just doing life with each other. And it's also a really key thing within the Italian culture of that time. It's a very human sort of way to portray Jesus. Like, it sort of reminds me too of like The Chosen. Like, I wonder how they're going to do that in The Chosen. Like, you feel like you're right there within the action. I think that's what, you know, the artist wanted to go for the people of that time, that the Italian people were like in the scene with them. That's just my opinion. And then also to relate back to the shock and horror of the previous theory, that, you know, imagine how you would feel if you were in that position too, of like hearing those words from Jesus. And yeah, I thought it was very interesting. So I think that will do for me for today's video. I will also make a playlist of all my Christian art videos because it's starting to sort of grow on my channel, which is quite interesting. So I will leave a little playlist on the end screen for you guys so that you can watch my favorite Christian paintings and the secrets of the creation of Canada I did a few weeks ago. And yeah, you can watch all them on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to give me a wee subscribe and like this video for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.